If you weren't already aware, CinnamonRoll was sort of an icon in the Gorilla Tag community for a while. And I was a big part of this community, the Find CinnamonRoll community and the Gorilla Tag community as a whole. I used to just sit down and, I don't know, make like hours. I would watch Gorilla Tag content. Some of my personal favorites were K9, Racer, J-Man Curly, people like that. But one of my personal favorite TikTokers was Find CinnamonRoll. It was an account run by Cam, or Cam Ram. I knew Cam semi-personally, well, not really, just over the internet, for a while. But he sort of drifted away from the community after creating what may or may not have been the biggest Gorilla Tag movement known to man. And I find that sad. But in this video, I'll be going into detail on some of the things that happened in this community and my personal thoughts on if CinnamonRoll was real or not. So, hopefully you'll stick around to hear my bogus opinions, and if you don't know who CinnamonRoll is, or what Find CinnamonRoll was, maybe go check out some of the TikToks. Obviously, he's not still posting today, and I'm really not sure if he ever will again, but he was a great person for a while, and that's another topic that I'm going to get into. The beginning of the Find CinnamonRoll community was sort of a harsh one, but one that did result in the spreading, very largely, of a great community. And I'm going to hand this segment off to my good friend Pickle. He was another important person in the CinnamonRoll community, and one of the most important members as well, along with me, Cam, Turtle, and other important members. He was, I believe, the original head monkey. Here you go, Pickle.
On January 20th, 2023, CinnamonRoll went missing. This soon inspired Cam, the one who last saw him before he disappeared, to start a TikTok account called Find CinnamonRoll. He posted videos surrounding the topic of CinnamonRoll, either using Gorilla Tag clips or other media. This sprouted the growth of his community, where he soon decided to go into public Gorilla Tag lobbies to try and recruit more members to join the cause, which is when I eventually joined. On the same day, I went to the lobby and met Seb and another member, Walrus, and the three of us became good friends. Walrus was basically Cam's second in command, and Seb was basically his third in command. There would be nights where I would talk with Cam until 1 a.m. about life and things like that. It was truly a great time. Cam would continue to make videos, attracting more and more people to the cause by the day, eventually creating a Discord with his friend Chris. In the Discord, the role of head monkey was established, and it was given to Walrus, Chris, Seb, and I. There was also an established fan lobby that would be used a lot within the coming months.
After the community was successfully established and a lot more members started funneling into the mix, the fan base, the community started to really pile up, and I'm not exactly sure if that did anything to Cam, but as this happened, the more people that joined, the more people that followed the Find CinnamonRoll TikTok account, Cam seemed to become more and more focused on the clout. Now, I'm not saying that he was shifting his focus entirely from CinnamonRoll, but looking back, you could tell that there were a lot of times where he really was just focused on getting more views for his TikTok. That especially came into view when it came to the Dressing Famous Monkeys as CinnamonRoll series, which he continued for about 8 or 9 parts. And these videos were not creative at all, and I remember it was one time Cam was in a voice call with me and Pickle and a few other people, and he said, and I quote, "I just need to get in with one of the popular people, and then, I could probably get in with the rest of them." Now, that doesn't really mean anything, but I guess to me it signifies the point where he really did start focusing a lot more on growing his account and a little bit less on CinnamonRoll. But at this stage, CinnamonRoll was still very important. I'm going to be passing the rest of this segment on to another important member of the Find CinnamonRoll community, that being No Don't Eat My Bird 78, also known as Ampersands Are Cool, or Ampersand. Here you go, Amper.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. After the Discord was created, more and more people started to join the cause, including me. I made a lot of great friends and would hop on every day along with other people. remember getting on Gorilla Tag the day the basement update dropped, spending the rest of my day in the code. It seemed like an endless stream of people were joining. Cam started collabing with other famous content creators, as Sim mentioned. Everyone was having a good time. There was some drama, but nothing major. The most popular video on the account has 362.3k views and 30k likes as of today. Everything was going good, and as even more people were joining, the TikTok and Discord was very active. New members joining every day. It seemed like everything was going good, and then it started to become too much for Cam, as he had other important stuff going on in his life. The next segment is going back to Seb. Take it away. Thanks for having me.
Since these problems had arisen in Cam's real life, he wasn't really able to pay attention to the server or the TikTok. Now, I'm not sure if him not being able to pay attention to the TikTok was any problem for him or the server was any problem for him, but I do remember he was posting like semi-daily. He was doing a lot of posts, he was still playing a lot of Gorilla Tag, so that's why this is the beginning of the end. Because he was still playing, he was still on with the community, he wasn't just completely alone and off the community spectrum completely. So, this segment, the one I'm doing, is not over yet. I'm actually going to be passing the microphone over to Turtle VR, another very prominent member in the CinnamonRoll community. Here you go, Turtle.
Hi. I don't really know how to start this, so I'm just gonna go. In the beginning, or at least when I joined, it was just when the server started building up. This was around 2,500 followers on the TikTok, is what I remember. At this point, Cam was extremely active, and everyone kind of just started talking. Everyone became friends. People started inviting their own friends, and that's, I believe, how we got at least, I think, a fourth maybe of our members. This I watched happen, was extremely happy, excited. I would come home, log on, talk. It was great. And during around 7 months, I believe, might have been earlier, Cam became less active and the community started going south. A lot more problems had arisen, and people stopped being so active, and that's what gradually killed the server, and everyone just stopped. Now, if you go onto our code, or what was our code, I believe, there's probably no one there. It's extremely likely, and I don't think that anyone's gonna go on there again, unless for old memories.
In this segment of the video, I interviewed Noname, a person who was with Cam at the time of meeting Cinnamon. I don't really feel like talking too much, so we're just gonna jump right into that. We are live. So, Noname, is it?
Yep.
You were in the lobby with Cam when he first met CinnamonRoll, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, okay, first of all, I'm just gonna dive in right here with the question that probably everybody wants to know. Was CinnamonRoll real?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so do you know, what does CinnamonRoll sound like exactly? Can you give a base description?
His voice is kind of high-pitched. He was really young, I could tell. I don't really know how to explain it in full detail. Just kind of hard.
So, as far as, Cam went in the Find CinnamonRoll community, did you ever notice that as it continued, he seemed to kind of drift away from the community and focus a lot on the TikTok and the views that he was getting on the TikTok?
Yeah, I kind of noticed that he was kind of drifting away and less focusing on trying to find him. Because at the beginning, we used to go into random lobbies, like ask people, like to try and find him. And we just kind of started drifting away from that.
Yeah, he definitely left that premise alone pretty early into the search party. Another, another thing is when he started that addressing famous TikTokers as CinnamonRoll series, that was probably the most lifeless thing he's ever done with his TikTok.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, he kind of really, the first episode really plotted the point on the map where he actually started focusing a lot more on the TikTok. And I remember when I first found out about Find Cinnamon Roll through the TikTok, he really wanted to find him. And that's like, all it was about. But, there were at least 2 videos on the TikTok that weren't even about Cinnamon Roll when I went and rewatched them later with Pickle.
Yeah.
Alright, I don't know if there really are any more questions. Okay, this is probably a good one. What was Cinnamon Roll's name? Because I know that you and Cam both knew that.
I don't remember his name. It's been so long. I know he told us it, but I just don't remember it.
Do you think it would have been in like a DM with Cam or anything?
I don't think so, because I don't think he was too young to be on Discord in the first place. He was super young.
Yeah, I mean, Cam portrayed him as like around 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah. Maybe a bit younger.
Yeah, I know Cam was really determined for a while, but what do you think the major turning point was? I feel like it was the concussion that Cam got. He really did, like, after that concussion, he kind of started acting a lot more rude towards the members of the server, which I don't know if that was just me, but I did ask Pickle and Ampersand, and they kind of felt the same about it as well.
Wait, when did he get a concussion? Because depending on when it happened,
it was like
headed away from the server.
Yeah, it was like halfway through the rise of the server, so it was when the server was pretty full of people. That's when Cam ended up getting a concussion, and I don't know, he just felt a lot more rude. Again, I wasn't in that many lobbies at that point because, I don't know if you remember, but I did kind of start like fading away from the community at that point because I had other things to focus on.
We used to be in a lot of videos, but then you kind of just disappeared from them.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like, weirdly enough, a lot of the videos were recorded like after I got off, which was kind of annoying. And I am kind of annoyed that he took the training camp idea and just kind of milked it for 4 more parts. Because the first one got a lot of views.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, the Find Cinnamon Roll community, and Cam specifically, is a case of how internet popularity can change a person. And, there have been a lot of instances where it's really bad, but in Cam's case, it was just like the gradual descent into caring more about like what was happening with the TikTok and becoming his TikTok personality, essentially. But I don't know, he hasn't said anything in the server in a while. He hasn't been on the code in a while. Me and Pickle were actually in the code like about 20 minutes ago, I believe. But I don't know, he joined the code once, like, what was it, 2 months ago?
I think so.
Yeah. It is kind of sad.
Yeah, it really is.
Did you ever think, like, when Find Cinnamon Roll started, did you ever think that maybe it would come to the point it was at now?
If I'm honest, I didn't. Just how determined Cam was.
I joined the community really early on, so again, I didn't think so either, but then it did kind of start to happen. But again, I didn't think that I would drift away from the community, but, people get burnt out on a lot of things, and that was just another case of it happening.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I don't have any more questions for you. Thank you very much for your time, and I do hope that you have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Alright, goodbye.
When Cam started to drift away and the community started coming to an end, I was hoping it would come back, but now I realize that just isn't possible anymore. I really loved Find CinnamonRoll as a whole, and I don't think it can ever be replicated. I met so many amazing people, and I wonder how different my life would be if I just scrolled past that TikTok video. I really do love Find CinnamonRoll, and I won't miss it. Goodbye.
After Cam initially left, he never really came back except for a few occasions, but during that time, there would be people who hopped onto the server even though there was no chance of him being there. Still, to either look for CinnamonRoll or to just take this as an opportunity to spend time with other people outside of their real lives. Now that might just be me projecting, but it was a pretty good escape from most of the people I had to put up with. After everyone stopped playing on the server, we would have like a little group of maybe 10-15 people who would just hop on every day and play different VR games like Rec Room. And it was truly saddening to see that group fizzle out into maybe 5 people and then eventually, have the flame fanned and we all just stopped playing together. In my opinion, I think Find CinnamonRoll was truly a bliss on many people's lives. It gave people some sense of purpose and an escape away from many things. And it was truly, it's gonna remain in my memory for forever. Yeah.
So, after all of this, Cam eventually did stop playing with us entirely. It was sort of a slow descent. There was no real day in which he just stopped. But it was really sad, for everybody, and everybody could tell what was going to happen. In this video, I have no hate towards Cam or anybody else involved in the Find CinnamonRoll community. Cam was truly a great person, and he really did all he could to stay on. But I do sincerely think that he could have paid a little bit less attention to the clout that he was getting, to the fame that he was getting, and he could have paid more attention on what was ultimately the goal that the community was set on initially, finding CinnamonRoll. And to any non-community members seeing this video, I do sincerely implore you, if you do play Gorilla Tag, to go out and maybe give it a whirl. Look for the guy. All that being said, this truly was sort of a nostalgia trip for me and a very sad video to make. It was perfect though. It's probably one of my greatest projects to date, and I do sincerely appreciate every member of the Find CinnamonRoll community who helped in this project, and every member of the Find CinnamonRoll community as a whole. Goodbye.